Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Y'all, we're about to do something here. We just got a whole bunch of logic at once and everything just clicked into place, didn't it? After that last episode. I was worried because we were going so far and I didn't have that one and I just had it in the end of the last video. So now it's time to connect some logic, so I already know what we're going to do here. We're going to do the lobby number 2 window. The scent of flowers is in the air. And also dissipating the smell. A window in lobby number 1 was open to allow the perfume Miss You spilled to dissipate. Those are definitely connected. So here we go. What are we going to have? It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. That's right. And yet, the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course. Incorporeal things can move freely between these open barred windows. Right. The criminal couldn't have made it through, but what about incorporeal things? Incorporeal is the way you would actually say it. Excuse me. Right, okay, so I think we have another one to connect as well. We have very loud television. Lobby number 2's television, it looks like it was set to an incredibly high volume. So guess what else can go through open windows? Noise. So that makes that. And once they said, I totally forgot about the television for the longest time, and when they said they heard a gunshot and then the tape was missing, you know what that means. Now then, what else besides the smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Okay, gunshot could be heard. Windows were open, so the gunshot could be heard, but where did it originate from? We already know, because we have the logic right now. It's the missing evidence, the tape. The tape is what was playing, and there was a gunshot in the video. That's what it is. I can't believe I didn't make that connection earlier. But I didn't even think that the tape would be gone. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in the room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. That's right. Are we going to check in there to see? I'm assuming that we are. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Oh shit, really? Pull your pants down, Grandpa. I'm ready. Wait, what? Never mind that. Okay, here we are. Now. Alright, so let's think about this. Obviously, it's going to be in the VCR, right? Do you guys even know what a VCR is? It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. Did it rewind itself? Sometimes they do that. This tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape? All you have to do is play it to find out. I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verified the contents of the video? Sure. Knock yourself out. Alright, let's rewind this and see what we have. Oh, it wasn't an auto-rewinding VCR. Well, shit. Trash, then. But that is the noise. Holy crap. That's nostalgic for somebody like me. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rell killing the embassy staff member should be at about 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood? This should be about right. Now then, let's see. Yeah, and if you were really clever and looked at your tape, you could tell when to stop it, like you knew. There it is. This is the footage of Mr. Rell shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. Okay. Right. Excuse me, I was so excited I had to sneeze about it. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind the double murder. Do you mean that you figured it all out then? Yes, all I have to do now is show you my giant hand. Is show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced.
Here you go, girl.
Now to show what the gunshot detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Right, because they weren't in this particular room. Alright, so fine. I'm assuming we have to deduce the window, right? Because he's saying that the sound went through the window. So let's do that. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah, the video. That's what I'm assuming they're going for. Alright.
Yeah, let's try that.
Here we go. If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser.
That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were.
However, what happened in reality was, Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot.
Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it.
Ah, but then why would the criminal open the window in the first place?
To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose.
Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this.
But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction.
I bet you do. Wait, what? No, she's too young. Very well. I believe the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact.
What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of?
Definitely when the crime took place. Think about it.
Think about that.
The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot and the surveillance video to do it. Wow, okay.
So, that's why the tape was left running.
You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Come on, Gramps, catch up with it. Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. That changes a lot. Actually, it must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. That's right. So this is hopefully going to clear him in a way. Someone who had no alibi for the time period, and planted this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Unfortunately, I'm starting to think about who actually did this, and I'm not happy about it, because now it's starting to make sense, isn't it? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something.
It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something.
Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. Alright. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. I think... Oh, oops. Sorry. Sometimes I get these wrong. That's fine. It's fine, it happens. Nope. You never save in a single file. Nope, not in an LP. Never. Mark my words, children. Don't do it. I'm sorry. It has been snowing blazes out here today suddenly in spring, and my throat is just going crazy. Alright, we're all here. Oh, you're here too. Hello, Kay. Are you sure you should be here? Kay, what are you doing here?
Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
But the object you're looking for is already... What are we holding? Kay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Aw, he's really nice to her, isn't he?
Okay, you got it.
That's sweet. Detective Bad, hadn't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer. Yeah, Miles, don't you get it? Excuse me. She's not supposed to listen to all this. It's about her father.
You're more sympathetic than I thought.
See, even Francie gets it. Jesus, Edgeworth, pull it together. Good lord. He's not very good with the kids. It's okay. Oh shit, we're in a courthouse setting now. Look at this. Why did we have to come over here just to talk to her? We could have just talked to her next to her.
I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved that case already, don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why? Even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right?
She about to get serious, I think so.
Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must be, without a doubt, Detective Gumshoe.
And that's all you have?
Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion and this case.
Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think?
How absolutely correct you didn't think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
If my logic is correct, I've already won. I'm worried about this because I think I already know what happened. All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to be able to do this. It depends what she says, though.
Everyone says the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there's no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe is the killer.
Alright, well that's worrisome because I didn't find anything in there that I could really hose, but let's see.
Now that you have your testimony, I expect good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
Look, she expects a good butt. We're gonna give it to her. But of course. There is no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve. How are we gonna do that? I'll tell you how. Guys, guess what? We're gonna press every statement. You got it. That's the mark of success.
Alright, everyone says the suspect has an alibi for when the gun went off. Literally everyone? Everyone in this place, which could have been like hundreds of people.
The suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven.
Are you like joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you, this is no joke.
Look, I know you heard it from the judge earlier. That the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll.
Yes, that is correct.
But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is there's no one else who can corroborate with what he did since snacking.
I see she's done her research as well.
Yeah, but can't we press the video on that or something?
Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's holding. What does that mean, Edgeworth? I don't get it. There hasn't been a place to present yet.
Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated. Well, I feel like that's true, but let's see what she says about it.
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide.
Scratch eyebrows and lines on your forehead or back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe is standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect.
But isn't it also possible that someone else escaped through a window and into the garden?
That's like the first place everyone looks silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad?
Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. You alright there, Grandpa? You sleep. Can you wake up, please? There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case.
Alright. I also confirmed that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2.
I agree with that as well, though, is the problem. That's the problem there. Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape?
Of course I'm sure.
And why are you so certain?
This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future.
Oh shit, oh! Man. That's not nice doing that in front of people.
Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Surely this is what we're gonna get her on here.
You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand?
But you're like the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. Well, we do.
Miles Edgeworth does care about hands. His giant hands. I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. Is that an innuendo? It's fine. Don't worry about that. I suppose we've reached the end now. Wait! We couldn't get her on anything? I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. Well, why didn't you do that in the first place? But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject.
Ah, but there are witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi.
I see.
As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard.
Did you?
I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else.
Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor?
Yeah, I thought that was obvious, no?
By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty?
What about them?
Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time?
What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1. The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard the gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? Is she gonna buy that, though? It could just be this or that. That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of where it took. Whoa. Girl, you didn't even let me finish my sentence!
Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1, care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
I would love to. I'm assuming this is where we put the video up. Alright.
Yeah. Here we go. That tape?
Oh, girl, fix it. Yo, can you teach me how to do that, though? Because your eyeliner's on fleek. Damn, she does that quickly. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is a surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up.
You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was a gunshot in a video.
Ah, but I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. What you gonna do? Oh, nothing. She fine. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. Okay. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on, and since we know now that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Girl, your voice, I can't get over it.
Sounds from a television don't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew, didn't we, Miles?
Yes, of course. We know all about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. Yeah, no one has to bring that up. It's fine.
That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day.
And?
That's it. End of story.
But it's not. She's getting a bit nervous.
How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? Because the window was open.
There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2, and it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Girl, did you know that? Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened. Objection!
It's so straight, it doesn't fit her. It doesn't fit her. It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the same time.
Yeah. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the... Oh, so it is.
It is.
Okay. You know what this means.
It's as I feared. The real killer in the double murder is...
Oh, I don't want to do it. Because honestly, I really enjoy her. And this always happens to me. What am I talking about? It was you, wasn't it? I knew it was too good to be true. God, every time I like someone. Miss Callisto, you? I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. Oh, what you gonna do?
What? You indict me?
Oh shit, look! She ran it right across her face! That is an awesome sprite.
Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer?
I don't understand her motive yet. What do you mean? But of course I'm serious. We know the motive for one person, don't we? Because she's the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now?
Of course I do, Edgeworth.
Do you? My argument must not be tight enough yet. Whoa! Let's get to that later. Wait, what?
Although I would never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right?
Go ahead. You can show me your butt. Give me what you got. You're very attractive, but unfortunately Miles isn't into that. We all know who he wants, and it ain't you. Get it? It ain't you. You guys, I'm on a roll.
You argue that the window was opened, however, do you have proof it was I who did it? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours.
Well, seriously though. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now's the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. By pressing every single thing, that's right. Alright. I think we already have something for this first statement, too, that she said.
You argue that the window was opened, however, do you have proof it was I who just did it?
Honestly, do we even need to press this statement is what I'm wondering, because in my mind, we could just present her perfume right now. You had a reason to open it, or someone did, because of this, right? That was what I thought of immediately when she said it. I think I'm gonna do it. Oh, shit, girl! It is time to put my giant hand to work. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu?
Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know?
What? This isn't mine.
That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see.
Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you.
Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume?
While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this. That according to Detective Bad. Right? That's what he said.
Oh, I know.
You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window.
Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean? Miss Yu, you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1.
That's right.
When you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? Uh-oh, girl, what you gonna do? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss Yu. Get it? Oh, shit. Your lipstick, though.
You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday.
Would you care to testify as to why?
Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all.
Here we go. What's she got to say about this? Why it couldn't be me? Okay, tell me about it.
Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma.
Oh shit, no, she did not go there.
In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from.
Oh, the knife, of course. We could get her on that, probably.
Miles, her testimony is flawless.
Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me.
But the knife, though, does she know about the key part?
That's what we probably have to go into right there. If I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. By pressing everything.
Alright. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top.
What do we have to say about that? I think I already explained the significance of that earlier.
You only confirmed that I did spill some. But that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill? Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character.
Do as you like. But as for me, I believe.
You believe?
I believe that you are the true culprit in this case.
My, you're like enthusiastic. Of course, I should have guessed.
But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected. Well, I've got to press this because I've got to see what they say about this. Franny's gonna go crazy. I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor.
Yes, or we'll sue you for defamation. That's all I'm doing is like telling the truth. Well, maybe like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials, or shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire.
How dare you?
Say such a thing.
Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you.
It's alright, Franny, just whip her, it's fine. Aw, why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue? In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. Why? Tell me more about that.
And why exactly could you not have killed him?
I was just about to testify to it. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth.
Don't worry, he's not into you. Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand.
Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we?
Girl, get her. I love her objection so much. I could listen to it all day.
Miss Yu, you will desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy.
Sorry. Miss Yu, please continue with your testimony.
Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from.
Definitely pressing that. Definitely. I need to hear more about what she thinks about that. At this rate, she'll inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag.
Miles? What do you think you're doing?
I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing.
Huh? I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today.
Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use.
So, like, that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatagarasu had sent. Unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on.
Girl, take a seat, because have I got something for you.